You get out what you put in. Never gonna lose.
Your own jingle, Ashley.
As long as you're happy, you're always gonna grin. You get out what you put in. You get out what you put in. Never gonna lose, never gonna win. As long as you're happy, you're always gonna grin. You get out what you put in. You get out what you put in. You get out what you put in. Hello, Gavin. How are you, mate? How's it all going? We are on week 9 of BizFest Takeover. How are you?
I'm very, very well. I'm okay now. Last week I had a massive dose of the old flu, so I'm just coming out the other end. So apologies if I cough down the mic. All right.
That's all right. No worries at all. It's fine because I'm using a Mac. I've got antivirus, so you're absolutely fine. But yeah, there's a lot of it around, isn't there?
There is a lot of it going around, a lot of it. And obviously when you're 5 weeks out from a show, having flu for a week of it ain't good.
No, absolutely. And the thing is, what a lot of people listening don't get is it's man flu. And that is just
very scary.
Well, glad that you made it through. Tell us a little bit about what is going on with BizFest. We're only like 4 weeks away, man. 4 weeks on Thursday.
Wednesday. 4 weeks on Wednesday. Yeah.
Right, I'm going to miss it.
You'll be there on the 3rd. We'll be packed up by then. No, it's mate, it's going really, really well. It's very, very exciting times. Inquiries have really started picking up again, which is good. Numbers wise, we've got just over 2,500 people pre-registered for tickets. Just speaking to one of our partners there a moment ago, and we've got some really good ideas in terms because the goal has always been to hit 4,000 pre-registered tickets.
Yep.
Our mindset is we hit 4,000 people pre-registered. Then if only 50% of those people actually turn up, we've hit our mandate, if you will, of 2,000 people through the door. Realistically, if we hit 4,000, we're going to get more than 2,000 through the door. But we've speaking to one of our partners, they're willing to do a big push for us, and I won't say who it is because I don't want to feel like I'm making them commit before we kind of agree to anything, kind of set anything in stone. But yeah, if they do, they've got they're a very well respected organization, and they have a big database. So very, very excited about that. Other stuff we've got going on. So we've got networking on the Friday, the 14th of March. So what's that, 11 days from now. We're very excited about that. We're sponsoring the networking event at the Ludo in Exeter. I think we're like 100+ people who are going to be in there. Myself, John Harvey, KTR Scott, and James Court are going to be on a panel. We're going to be like talking about our experiences around networking, which the way I built my business, and obviously how we've managed to build BizFest as well. And then we have our final networking event on Thursday, the 20th of March. Yeah, that's going to be at Dartington Hall. And that's going to be very exciting. And you were obviously at Bobby Cat's.
There's a lot of talk about that. People are
so good, isn't it?
Yeah, no, superb. It's a real benefit for anybody who's actually booking a stand. Yeah. And any other news before we go to 3 lovely people who've booked stands waiting in the wings?
You have 3 amazing people waiting in the wings. I don't have anything else really to tell you other than, if you haven't already, to the people watching, if you haven't already, make sure you do book your free ticket. It's going to get you in the door quicker. If you book it, if you print it off, it's even better. If you could do that, that'd be great. That'll get you in the door even quicker. We're expecting big queues at the start of the day, really all the way through to lunchtime. But that's obviously, that's going to be the hub, the hive, when it's going to be the busiest as well. So yeah, make sure you book your tickets.
Perfect. That's a great bit of advice, because if you just turn up on spec, you're gonna have to queue, and there's other things going on if you've pre-registered. So there's loads of other benefits there as well. So Gavin, I hope you're feeling better. I will see you next week. Thanks ever so much indeed. Let's bring on some amazing guests. Cheerio. Right, here we are. We've got an amazing selection of people today. And first off, I'm just going to check that we can hear Paul. Please say hello, Paul. You need to unmute yourself.
Hello.
Oh my goodness, it all works. It all works. And this is the thing, when you're doing something live, you never know. And we all meet up beforehand, and Paul was having a few problems, but He did have a full head of hair before he went away. That must have been a bit of a shock to you, Paul. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you? And nice to see
absolutely
everybody.
Awesome. Good to see you. So, Paul, tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do.
So my name is Paul Brown. I've had quite a checkered career, I suppose. Starting as a plasterer many moons ago, ended up as a senior director in a large PLC, and then subsequently came up with an idea for a product which has now become best practice in the industry. Looked at some fulfillment companies who I used, but unfortunately that didn't work out. So I then developed my own fulfillment company to satisfy my own product distribution. And more recently, I've been working in partnership with Exeter College, and I've actually written and developed training courses for the construction industry, which has meant that I've set up a training business now with some unique courses to offer the sector. So yeah, quite a busy person at the moment.
No, absolutely fantastic. And in all of that, you never told us anything about any of your companies, so it's still a mystery.
So we have Swifix Limited. So that designed and developed a unique product for refixing external items when you've had external wall insulation installed. External wall insulation, for those that don't know, it's an insulation product you fit on the outside of a property that reduces your energy bills considerably and keeps you nice and warm and toasty, and stops the house leaking heat, basically. My Swifill business is a 3PL fulfillment company, so we distribute the products for my Swifix company. We also distribute small products for a number of other companies who sell online. So we do deal with that. And then Support for Success is the training business, and it's very new. We literally only last week got approved as an NVQ centre. So we are now literally live to start trading very soon. And we've got lots of people booked in to train over the next 6 months. So it's absolutely amazing what's happened. So
fantastic. Yeah. All of this started out when you were a plasterer, right? That's fantastic. Right, we're going to dig into that in a second. Sure. Right. So Emma, tell us a little about who you are, where you are, please, and what you do.
Hello, my lovely. Thank you firstly for having me. So I am the Wealth Rebel. Basically, I'm the founder of Star Wealth Strategic Planners, but I basically go through my life trying to be as rebellious as humanly possible. I also had a podcast. It's now on YouTube because I decided podcasting was way too much hassle. YouTube's way better. But I was a stock trader for 10 years in London. I moved to the Southwest and became a wealth manager, and just realized that wealth was not about money. It wasn't about all the physical assets. And whilst I can tell you anything about money, how to invest, I used to create structured products. I know how to manufacture them. I know about the global stock market. I've done it all. For me, wealth is way more than that. It's about a vibration. It's energy, abundance, lifestyle, time, health. And I work with other founders, other people in business, especially like people in the athletic space, to help them to design a life that they love and then go on and have the impact through entrepreneurship and business as a wealth empowerment coach. So I kind of quit the corporate sector, if you like, and founded my own business about 4 years ago in 2021. That's when I kind of started doing my own like podcasting and things like that to get my voice out there. Now that I wasn't having to sign off against compliance. Compliance says no, again, about the things that I was kind of saying and sharing about wealth. And through that process, I've designed some kind of coaching practices and planning practices that I have created a framework around, and I teach that. And more recently, and this is a bit people always think it's a bit weird, but I've kind of set up a practice in the heart of North Devon to bring the wealth empowerment stuff into the Southwest firmly and foremostly. And I actually do massage as well, Swedish massage, because wealth for me isn't just about the physical act of doing, it's the embodiment and healing. So I also in a practice called Ocean Wealth and Therapy in North Devon as well. And all of this is going to be on my stand, which is great because I get to kind of talk about the eclectic mix of what I do. You'll find me at stand number 97. I know I was meant to mention that.
97. I'm gonna do your stand numbers at the end, but right. So if I come to stand 97, then on the 2nd of April, which is a Wednesday, not a Thursday, do I get a massage?
Oh, do you know, I could bring my couch and we could do massage.
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Right, you're on. You're on. I'll be there really early, so you can just set me up for the day. Right. You do know if you're going to be rebellious today, I do have a button that says remove. So you know, just. But I do love a rebel. So yeah, thanks for joining us
when
today.
I say rebellious, it's more the way that I live my life. You know, I just don't conform to those societal norms, and I really empower people to do that. You know, into trying to step out their comfort zone. Those sorts of things.
No, I talk an awful lot about happiness and stuff like that, and I think because we're all in Devon, aren't we, guys? Yeah, we're all in Devon. We're already wealthy, because what a lovely place to live. Even if you've got no money, you just I live in Sidmouth, and I've just walked across the seafront this morning. It is beautiful. The sun shining, the seas, you know, flat, calm. You know, who needs money? And I think that's a great attitude to have, because you've gone full circle, haven't you, Emma? But it brings me lovely into Tyrone. Mr. Bullion, this is like having Goldfinger. I've been expecting you.
Yeah. Thank you, Ashley, for inviting me. Yeah, wow, Paul, you know, Emma, sounds brilliant. Your business is very interesting. And I will be definitely visiting both your stands at BizFest, so I look forward to that. So yeah, a little bit about me, Ashley. My background is from a corporate background in telecoms. So large corporate startups. Originally worked for one of the bigger players within the industry, which was British Telecom, or Openreach as it's known now.
I think I've heard of them.
And started working my way through, you know, from an engineer all the way up through to C-suite level. And what I found really interesting when I went into the startup corporate space was how imaginative you can be, how free you can be. But because you work for a large organization, you still feel like these reins are on you in some way, shape or form. And I've always had a love for physical precious metals. So my dad's been in the industry all his life. I've been fortunate enough to invest in the space for the last sort of 17 years. And it's something I've been really passionate about. So when I had an opportunity 18 months ago to form an organization with a very, very close friend of mine in a similar space to where I was, I literally sort of ripped the hand off the opportunity and said, let's go for it. And what I would say about the last 18 months, it's an absolute roller coaster of emotions, because you're so passionate about your business, and you're so passionate about sort of trying to get this message out there, you know, but you've still got to make sure that, you know, your business is running as it used to. So what I would say about, you know, doing corporate startups, you always have an element of safety net, 'cause you have a much larger team around you. But when you step into the world where you're co-founding and starting your own business, although very exciting, sometimes very daunting, but I think that's the reality of business, right? So as a business, we support clients across the whole precious metal sector. But one thing we do pride ourselves upon, we're not that transactional as an organization. So we really, really find it super, super important to first and foremost be educational. We want to really support people with understanding the world of precious metals, try to give them as much information they need as possible to really understand the environment or the industry. And then we can then start walking through the transactional elements as we go. And that's where we get the most satisfaction, because I've been conditioned from a very young age to understand the difference between the general banking sector versus commodities or other types of investments, where some people of a similar age demographic as us have always been cultured to think that their money needs to sit in one place. So we try to educate clients around diversification. We try to educate them around understanding things holistically. And we want to try and create an environment where they can ask those questions they might not feel comfortable asking of other organizations similar to us. We had a huge debate, believe it or not, on where we should locate the business. 97% of my competition are based in London. And we want to erase that stigma of businesses like ourselves having to be based in the capital. And I think what taught us more than anything through COVID, more than anything, is internet connection is absolutely crucial. But more importantly, you can communicate with people in so many different ways now.
Yeah.
So at our organization, we offer face-to-face consultation here at our head office. We offer Teams, we offer Zoom. we offer telephone, we offer email, we offer absolutely any way that individual feels comfortable to become educated in the world of precious metals. We absolutely offer it. So yeah, as a business, as you can imagine, it can be sort of fairly complex, but we're here to remove those complex levels. And I think having a foundation of BizFest is exactly what we really, really enjoy doing, speaking to people face to face, being able to break down those barriers. And certainly when you meet someone for the first time, whether that's face to face or over the phone, when you tell them that you sell gold, there's always well, hang on, this doesn't feel quite right. So it's always quite good to be able to get those second layers of conversation going, and for them to actually realize that we are just human beings. We understand that, sometimes this might feel a little bit daunting for individuals, but we're here to support them every single step of the way.
Perfect. And will you be bringing any samples to your stand?
We've got plenty of chocolate gold coins. So we will be bribing plenty of people with lots of chocolate. But we will have, some items that we will have securely located there for example reasons. But yeah, we will have some form of examples there. Perfect. On very small quantities. So
yeah, obviously.
My insurance company might believe.
So as soon as I saw you were on this show, I got two visions in my head. One is Goldfinger and James Bond, and the other is the Italian job with all those gold bars in the back of the minis. It's not like that, is it?
No, it's not. And I think when people talk about, just if we use gold as the example, there's so many elements and layers to gold investment. You've got gold bars, which are VAT free but aren't capital gains tax free. You've got British gold coins that are produced year on year from the real mint, and they're capital gains tax free as well. So it's about understanding the objectives of the client. It's understanding the strategy of the client and trying to create the most robust portfolio that already fits within their circumstances. So it's about diversification as well. So that is why we're here, really. We're here to try and facilitate a pathway and to try and create, that is as seamless as possible for someone to reach the right outcome for their circumstances.
Brilliant. And all through that, Emma's nodding her head. So I guess you know all about this, don't you, Emma?
I have a friend that comes on into one of my communities to talk about gold trading, and I have I don't have any gold. I actually have silver coins. I buy them from the Royal Mint, and I really believe in diversification. And you're so true. I grew up working in a bank, and then I was in RBS as a trader. And people just think the only way to invest is through your pension and through your ISAs. And so just having you in the Southwest is just amazing, because for my clients, I'm always trying to get them to think more eclectically and also see that it's actually a real asset and you can do way more with it. And the tax implications of what you're talking about with, like, the fact that some of it's capital gains tax. This is stuff that I'm just learning, because even traders that I deal with in London, some of my friends and that are clients on the wealth side, don't understand the implications outside of their little bubble. So it's just fantastic to hear you talking.
Perfect. A bit of synergy there with you two. So just listening to you guys, we've all done something different, and now we're somewhere else, which is amazing. And you guys probably don't know, but I started life out as a chef. So I want to dig in on that, because there's a lot of business owners watching this, listening to this, that are thinking exactly the same thing. There's also people listening that are in that corporate job thinking, oh, I hate this. I really wish I could do X, Y, Z. So Mr. Plasterer, so tell us how you sort of like transitioned from getting mucky every day to then running a business.
Yeah, so I used to think I was lucky, and then the older you get and the harder you work, you realize you make your own luck. I think that's really it. But I was really fortunate. I joined an organization as a subcontractor, because I had my own business at 20 years old, restoring ornamental plasterwork, all the fancy cornices in houses, etc. And in the late 80s, the recession bit, and that work dried up, and I went to work for a company that I was a subcontractor for, and they offered me a job as a site manager, and I grew with the business. That business was turning over £1 million a year. 20 years later, when I left, it was doing nearly £1 billion, and I'd literally done every job from a site manager. I then became an assistant contracts manager, a quantity surveyor. Throughout my career, every 2 years in those 20, until the last 5 or 6, I ended up becoming what was classed as an integration director. So they would make an acquisition of a new company. I would go in and I would then sort it out basically, and then let somebody take over, and I'd go and do another one. And I left that business because it was a family business in the start, and it was a floated stock market AIM company at the end. And the whole ethos of the business had changed, literally full circle. It wasn't really about people anymore. It was about shareholder value, and it was all about making as much money. And that made me feel uncomfortable with some of the practices, so I left. I then took 6 months out and went to Australia for a few months, and came back and applied for visas because we were going to move to Australia. It was at that time I joined another large contractor in the southwest to set up an energy business, a renewable business for them. And cut a long story short, we negotiated a £20 million contract, which they basically refused. They didn't want to do. So the client said to me, well, why don't you do it? You've managed it. So I jacked my job in, set a business up within 12 weeks, employed 15 people and 60 teams of solar PV installers. And I thought this was me made for life. Unfortunately, 3 months in, the government decided to cut the feed-in tariff, which then left me high and dry with £300,000 investment and no order. So I literally had to fold the business and lost everything I'd worked for in 20 years. Lost my family home, lost my cars, lost everything. But you know what? I wouldn't be here today without that, because what happened then is I went back into the external wall insulation sector and saw the way that things were being done, and things hadn't changed in 20 odd years. And then that's when I took some time out after 18 months to develop the Swifix product, which, you know, that's how I really transformed from a plasterer to an entrepreneur now, with just trying to do some good. You know, all the businesses are intrinsically linked. The product business has got the Swifil to support it. The training business is linked to the product business, because insulation is what we teach and what we train and educate people, which is, you know, a really interesting time at the moment. So that's my sort of very, very whistle stop tour of my career, if you like.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. We don't start a job and be you know, an accountant for life. We've got to, you know, take things and you've turned it on its head, Emma.
I think Tyrone, I think for me, I think you're the sort of person, I think Tyrone mentioned this, that, you know, you know, when I worked in the corporate environment, whether that be a social housing landlord, I worked 5 years up until I left a couple of years ago. And then the education sector, working with the college, they're all very bureaucratic, process-driven organizations. And for me, when I want to do something, because I know it's for the right reasons, for the betterment, you get very frustrated. So I think you're either one of those people that are destined to just do as you're told and do a great job for an organization, or you just go, no, this has got to be right, so I'm going to do it myself. And the only way to do it myself is to start my own company.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that sums it up for me. And you know, that for me is having that freedom. And actually, this is the first time we'll have advertised any of the businesses in a sort of event. So the BizFest, I'm really looking forward to it. I think, you know, we are a Southwest-based business. I do want to do some good in the Southwest. So, you know, it's really positive to get out there and sort of get your name out there. So.
Fantastic. And here we all are running our own businesses. Hands up who thinks they're now unemployable.
Definitely.
and that's the thing. So I'm going to go to Emma now, because you've turned everything that you've done on its head. You're now not talking about wealth as in, you know, cash and money and bullion. You're looking at the holistic thing. So how was that transition then?
I do talk about it. Part of my framework is to help people to invest in all their assets. So I do a huge amount of education. It's what I've always done, actually. When I was a trader in London, I'd manufacture structured investment solutions and then go out and then tell IFAs what they're selling and how to sell it. So training has always been my thing. So a big part of what I do is education and training. And I love it, you know, so I will teach people about what the stock market is, what is a pension, you know, a pension transfer specialist. I'm highly, highly qualified in all of that. So I've not turned my back on it. And I very much bring it into when I create strategies for my clients, whether one-to-one or whether I teach it in my Star Mastery School. It's about helping them to connect with the thing beyond the money, and then helping them to understand how to navigate all these different things. And I don't like to just do it like, you know, in lots of different training videos. I believe, because there's so much out there in getting to know people and then having really great open conversations and forums and communities to talk, well, what is a pension? What is an ISA? So, and I bring in experts like, I was already thinking, Tyrone, you'd be great to come in. All of these things, I'm a connector of people to help people to see the bigger picture. But where I've turned it on its head is I did this for myself. So a big part of my framework is to get people to, instead of planning the money to plan their life, plan your life first and then design your life and your business and all the assets to go with it. So I do a huge amount of wealth planning and wealth empowerment within what I do. And when I did that for myself, I realized that I wanted to bring massage into my own beingness. So that's what led me to launching in the Southwest Ocean Wealth and Therapy, which I do on a Tuesday around all the other things that I do. And I think what you said, Ashley, is so true, because I do this all these things eclectically. Every day of the week's different, apart from Tuesday's clinic day. Running my show is part of I have the Wealth Rebels show on YouTube. It's all part of living a life that I love, so I can get my message and my knowledge out there. And it's like I just never know what day is going to be. What day is going to be like. I really struggle sometimes to know what day of the week it is, to be honest, because I don't see the 9 to 5 anymore. I see literally a day, every day is just a gift.
Yep.
So, yeah, and I came to this point because I discovered coaching in 2021. And for me, it was after having my first baby, I realized I couldn't really return to the corporate structure. It just didn't support my life of being a mummy. And when I was in the investment bank, and I think this is what led me to leaving London years ago, when I left London to be a wealth manager, then to fully go as an entrepreneur, was I remember being at a talk, and I think Karen Brady was there. We had some amazing talks when we were in London, and one of the ladies that was like a VP or an MD in the investment bank was everyone that was looking after her children. She had nannies, and I was like, that's not me. I want to be on the beach. I want to be having my feet in the sand. Life's for living today. I don't want to live my life only 4 weeks a year. Like you said, in the Southwest, literally, it's beautiful sunshine. I'm hitting Saunton Beach soon. I'm 2 minutes away from Saunton Beach. And if I can do this and I can make these shifts and I can make these changes, anyone can do it. So that's kind of what led me to kind of, when I discovered coaching after I had Harry, I thought, I'm going to reinvent the wheel. Nobody knows what coaching is. Coaching's out there. And I just evolved naturally and realized that I couldn't do what I wanted to do in corporate. So it was just very natural for me to kind of do that in between having babies. I launched my business in 2021, and then I had a baby 3 months later in April 2021, my second baby. But I was fully entrepreneurial then. It was like, great. She was sat next to me and I was writing a blog for a company in the States, one of my friends in the States that had launched a company out there that I used to work with in the investment bank. When you're an entrepreneur, you just get on with it and you just do it and you just bring your magic.
And it looks like you're having fun as well, because you're saying all of this with a lovely smile on your face. Quick shout out to Daniel's finding this conversation interesting, and Christian is in Newham. So hi guys, thanks for shouting out. Tyrone, we're really running out of time. So just briefly your transition.
How
are you finding it now?
So absolutely, my transition to it was. I would love to say it was planned. It wasn't necessarily planned. I always visualized that I wanted to have my own business. I think when Paul was talking about the corporate structure and the reins it has on you and the restriction, I always felt like I could give a little bit more. And I'll be really honest, without sounding too arrogant, I did a very good job in both those roles and made the organisation a lot of money and saved them a lot of money. And I think it came to the point where I actually felt like, I deserve a break and I deserve something. And to then combine that with something that you love and have huge passion for, just felt like a no-brainer. So, like I said, when we had the opportunity to do that, it was pretty much a decision. I think we probably had too much red wine and cheese in at the time, me and Barry. So it was a bit of a drunken decision maybe. But it was the right decision, and we haven't looked back once. And I think certainly with my business partner and the way we've grown the business, and in all the right ways. So, you know, starting a business, one particular thing that should come to mind, and I think a lot of entrepreneurs will probably hopefully agree with me, is, you know, those first 12 months are very tricky, but it's very important you hold your integrity very, very high, and you stick to your core values and core beliefs. Because, you know, like I mentioned, it is a struggle. We're fortunate now that we're in a position where, you know, last month we had record-breaking new biz clients join us in January. We've done that again in February, and March is looking very bright and prosperous for us for all the right reasons. So we talk about, you know, Emma talking about wealth and but talking about health. We can sit here and knowingly we're educating these people in the right way. And sometimes success for us doesn't mean a transaction. Success can actually be for us where we've actually taken an individual down a pathway to allow them to now go away and to really think about their circumstances and how they can potentially better themselves in 12 months' time when they're ready. So, you know, success can be measured in a number of different ways other than just financials. Absolutely. I think that's really, really important.
And I think that's the message we've got from today's show. Guys, you've been absolutely amazing. Literally, just a quick sentence. How can we find you and what we're going to see at your stand? Paul?
Just, I don't know the number off the top of my head, but we are literally right in front of the main entrance as you walk into the show. Come and see us. If you've got some fulfillment requirements or if you want to learn about training and retrofit, then come and chat to us on the stand.
And it's swifix.co.uk?
Swifix.co.uk, swefill.com, or supportforsuccess.org.
Perfect. Emma?
Oh, you can find me at The Wealth Rebel on Instagram. You can find me at The Wealth Rebel Show on YouTube. I'm always shouting about money. I'm also doing one of the seminar talks at the event, stand number 97. I'll talk about sauna chat. So you will get lots of interesting stories where I have really kind of connected to my wealth. So yeah, come and see me. You'll have a laugh, if anything. So
I think we will. And Tyrone, finally.
You'll be able to find us at Stand 113. We are right next to the not networking area. If you can't wait that long, you can visit our website and download a free investment guide. There's a whole host of information in there. It's only 11 pages long, but very informative. You can follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. We post very regularly, and it's very informative. So, really look forward to seeing everyone at the expo.
Perfect. Right. So next week I have got Claudia, Sarah, and Colette coming in to tell us all about their businesses in the run up to BizFest. That's week 10. So guys, thanks ever so much for joining us. Paul is back. Thanks ever so much for joining us. I will see you all next time. Thank you to everybody for the comments as well. And see you next time. Cheerio.
See you later, guys.
Get out what you put in. Never gonna lose, never gonna win. Long as